Today is January 21st, 2016. Exactly 7 years ago, I had my accident. A lot of you guys know this story, but I've never told it on this channel. And even now, I'm still not 100% comfortable talking about the accident. But with it being the Olympic year and it being the 7-year anniversary, I thought it was a good time to share what the accident was. Okay. So January 21st, 2009, it was a normal day, a normal practice, nothing was out of the ordinary, and then reverse 3.5 happened. I jumped up like a normal takeoff and I started spinning and I hit my head on the 10-meter platform. Right after I hit my head on the 10-meter platform, I fell 33 feet to the water and landed on my head on the water, and when I hit the water, my scalp ripped in half. When I came out of the water, my coach got in the pool and held my head together so that I A, wouldn't bleed out, and B, wouldn't get a lot of chlorine into my head to cause a lot of brain damage. Once the paramedics got there, they took me to the hospital, they took care of me, they were there with my mom and my grandma, and they stapled my head together, and it was a terrible experience. With the amount of blood that I lost, it's likely that I could have died with the way I hit 10 meter. If I was maybe a centimeter closer to the platform, I could have fractured my skull. If I was going at a faster rate hitting the water, I could have torn more of my scalp open. There's a lot of factors that could have made this even worse, and I think if it would have gone any worse, I would not have made it. We all have those moments in our life that kind of define who we are, and ever since this moment, I've been more reserved in every aspect of my life. I've tried to hide it, I've tried to fight it, I've tried to push this reservedness, this scared, this lack of trust in myself away, but it's kind of sat there. One of the biggest things that has affected me since the accident is I haven't really talked much about this with even people in my life, but I've had a lot of memory issues with short-term, long-term. I have a lot of trouble remembering things that happened in my life before the accident. I have trouble remembering things in day-to-day life. I just have so many issues with trying to think of things, trying to remember things. It's hard for me to remember people's names when I meet them for the first time. It's just little things like that. I don't know if it's from that accident exactly. Maybe I just have terrible memory in general, but that seems to have been a defining moment where this struggle started to begin. The reason I wear my hair a little longer now than I used to is because I don't like people seeing the scar on my head, because when people see me from a side angle, they can see the scar and then they ask about it, and I don't like telling the story of my head injury. When I've been asked in interviews about the injury, because a lot of people do know about it, I cringe every time. I don't like thinking about the incident. I don't like talking about it, but it's been 7 years and it's time for me to just stop worrying about something that's never gonna happen again. I recently read a book called It's Not What You Think by Jefferson Bethke, and there was one phrase, one sentence, one ending to a paragraph that really made me want to tell this story to you guys for the first time. He said, "Don't be afraid to show your scars. You may be able to bring light to a topic and help others." And that's why I decided to make this video. There's gonna be stuff in your life that tries to destroy you on every level. It's going to be a physical battle, it's gonna be a mental battle, and it may be a daily battle for many, many years, and in my case, a 7-year battle. Typically people are like, oh yeah, scars are great, scars are cool, but I don't like them. Especially when you have one this long from here all the way here on your head. It's something that really can bother you. It's crazy to think that this dive went from being something that almost killed me to being my favorite thing to practice. When I'm up on the 10 meter, I'm not thinking about the time I hit my head. I'm thinking about how much I enjoy diving. The cool part of the story is something that almost killed me has become the thing that I'm best at. Fear is something that can cripple a lot of people, and it's crippled me for a long time, but the moment I got back up there and I started doing the dive again, it got better and better and better, and this thought of hitting the tower went away more and more and more. God has given me some unreal opportunities with my life with diving, and yes, that bad accident happened, but in all honesty, it happened for the better. Because of that accident, I was able to train harder and harder every day once I recovered from the injury, and I was able to translate what I was learning from that dive into every other dive, and it made my progress go up at a much faster rate than I ever could have imagined. And because I didn't just drop everything and quit after that injury, I stuck with it. I wanted to get back up there and keep doing 10 meter because it's what I truly loved. I'm now able to travel the world with a great group of people and compete for Team USA and represent my country. And I'm still doing that dive to this day, and it's the one I enjoy most. Like right now, I'm standing in a hotel room in Fort Lauderdale overlooking the ocean, and in a couple weeks I'm going to Brazil, and then after that I'm going to China, then to Dubai, then to Canada, then to Russia. But if I would have let that injury defeat me, none of this would be a reality for me. So basically my call to action from this story is don't give up, put your faith in God, put your trust in God. Like, I couldn't have made this comeback on my own. I couldn't have done any of this on my own. Yeah, I could have easily died from the accident that happened, but I didn't. And I think that in and of itself is enough motivation to want to get better every single day at everything I'm doing because I have the opportunity to do so. I know it sounds super cliche and super cheesy, but you really start to understand how much of a gift life is when it's almost taken away. I don't take days for granted anymore because I fully understand that they are not promised. I'm just gonna live today doing what I do to the best of my ability because I might not get the opportunity to do so tomorrow. A lot of you have asked me about this story, and I've been reluctant to tell it over the past few years because I don't like my scars. I don't like opening up my scars. I like to put a bandage on them and leave the bandage on it, when in reality, that doesn't help them. For scars to heal, you've got to open them up, let oxygen come in, because if you're just covering it with a band-aid the entire time, there's gonna be no healing process. It's just going to stay the same. So the bandage on the scar is off now. So, 7 years ago I almost died. Almost.